Greetings folks, Flying Doctor here, hope you're doing okay. Now this originally was going to be a review of Orbx's Dublin City pack. I'd come across this new product just recently released. Emerald Isles Crown Jewel gets a makeover, and you can see that I'm on FS Elite's page, which I can certainly heartily recommend. However, this is a product launch, not a review, 18th of November 2022. So I took a look at this and I thought, oh yeah, it looks really interesting. You can see that it's saying that it's got 60 points of interest with physically based rendering, PBR textures and nice lighting, and some nice pretty pictures here to look through that we can flip through. Of course, the first thing you see is you don't actually know what you're looking at. I mean, if I were looking at London, for example, I would know what some of the London landmarks are, but I have no idea about Dublin. But nonetheless, I was wanting to extend my collection. So, originally, I was up for a straightforward comparison between what Microsoft Flight Simulator is just producing in the raw and what benefits this add-on might have at something like, it's around about £11 or something like that at the moment of recording. However, this has become a video of two halves because I have to say, as per my review of Great Britain North, there have been no improvements to Orbx's Central platform by which it sells its products, and I think that is a great shame. I think it is not helpful to us as consumers because although we read of these points of interest, we can't necessarily see all of the points of interest there. There were some showcases, beautiful models there, and they are beautiful. I've downloaded and I've flown over the region, both in a H145 and in a microlight. There are some superb models, but there's no information on where the new models are located. There's no definitive list saying in particular these are specifically the models that have been worked on that you will see differently in the sim. The comparison does look great, as you see, as we'll unfold it later in a video, but I do feel my big disappointment with this product is more with Orbx Central, and the potential's lost here. If I were somebody who was working on these models, I would be sorely disappointed that my handiwork wasn't reported in some kind of list. Allow me to just highlight some of the problems that are still going on, and this is such a shame because I cannot believe that it's not possible for Orbx to resolve this. I mean, even if they added $1 onto an Australian dollar on and lifted the Orbx Central app to kind of a premium kind of level, which had more information on it, they could do absolutely huge amounts with this platform, but they don't. So if you actually go via the website, or if you look on Orbx Central before you make the purchase, you'll see that they do offer an outline of what the Dublin City pack includes, but it's too broad for me, and it's certainly not got enough definition in it that I'm able to plan a route and fly over a set area. So yes, they're telling me that they've highlighted the representation of the city of Dublin, surrounding areas, all the major landmarks from Trinity College to the Guinness breweries, enhancements to the city surrounded areas. I mean, you'll be able to read this for yourself if you go on it. Automated vessels, yes, animated double yellow decker buses, animated trains, stunning night lighting. I've not even looked at the night lighting, but the key thing is they're saying over 60 detailed POIs with PBR texturing, and strenuously optimized, they say, for the best performance using efficient 3D modeling and texturing techniques. Well, I'm not going to look at that for the moment. I just want to illustrate the product. So of here we do have some nice showcases, and this was enough to suck me in, as I might have got the price wrong earlier. It's £9.90 at the moment, equivalent in UK pounds. And so yes, there's not 60 POIs here though. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 26. So 26 showcase things here, but there's 60 high detail POIs. Also, I can't tell where the heck these things are. So yeah, just allow me to illustrate a little bit more some of the problems that are still happening on the Orbx Central site. And the thing that frustrates me, as I say, is that this could be sorted, I think, relatively quickly. And there's functionality, similar functionality with other products, but just not with Orbx's products. Let's have a look. So this may be familiar to you. This is what you get once you've made the install, and I've got an opportunity to click on a user guide, because the thing is, I want to see what these POIs are and where they're located. And an absolute gift would be some kind of file that I could incorporate into something like Navimap, or just see the POIs in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But none of those things are operative. In fact, this is worse than Great Britain North. But let's just start by seeing if we got a user guide. So we open up. No, we couldn't find a user guide for this product. I'm not expecting a lot, but a little bit more information just might be helpful. But for example, if I go to what I suspect is a product that has been produced by a third party working with Orbx, that Orbx is offering on its site. For example, let's go to the India Fox Echo MB339 that I purchased some time ago. Click on the open for that on the user guide, and well, up it comes, a direct link to a PDF that is telling me all about the MB339. And okay, I'm not expecting it all to be there, but there's a change log there, and there's a starter for me, at least to move on. It's interesting that if I go to EIDW, that's Dublin Airport, as you can see here, that's produced by MK Studios and marketed by Orbx. Usually I click on the open there, got no problem there. As you can see, we've got MK Studios Dublin. Now, it's very limited in what it's offering, I must admit, but at least it gives me some basic information and a starting point. However, when it comes to most of Orbx's own products, Great Britain Central, for a moment, click on the open there, couldn't find a guide. Great Britain North, open there, couldn't find a guide. Vessels, the Channel Islands. Now, this is interesting because this is third-party seafront simulations. In this instance, there is no guide, but there is a guide for UK Southeast seafront simulations that you can see just popping up there. So the general rule of thumb seems to be that if Orbx has produced it, you won't find any user guides or any further details on Orbx Central itself. But if it is produced by a third company, this is interesting, Samsung 3D, we don't have it there, but with other places like Keflavik Airport here, MK Studios, who open up that, and it will show. So it's very mixed, but on the whole, you can pretty much expect that if you're dealing with an Orbx product, then you will not find a user manual. Neither will you find much detail, sadly, on the Discover feature here. You can see there's my GB North, GB Central. You can see the Orbx airports that I have purchased here. But also, just notably, this is around Dublin itself here, nothing to indicate that I have, the city escape installed. Still, I was rather hoping that I'll be able to see the POIs once I perhaps opened up in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there something deeper going in underneath the hood? And so here you can see this. I happen to be flying out of Dublin Airport here and just making a south westerly track in order to come down the Liffey and go over what is right here is a kind of industrial area in the port, and then straight down the Liffey, since that is what's advertised, and then turning again sort of south west, and then turning back on ourselves and coming via some obvious features. There's a stadium there. Don't worry about the stuff here as things carry on going down towards Monkstown. The point is that I've planned a route, and I'm just working off the back of what is said in the product announcement, really. And but I've got no indication, if I come in closer, no indication whatsoever of any of the POIs that are there. That the 60 POIs that have been meticulously worked on. I have to say, people work really hard at this, if it is 60, but people have worked very, very hard on, and nothing to indicate exactly what they are. So how can I plan a flight path along that route? That's my point. And the added benefit, of course, is that, well, you learn many things, don't you? You know, as you look at the points of interest, you perhaps find out a little bit more about the points of interest. And so it opens up a whole world for you. But at the moment, it's just, here's a product. Yes, fly down the Liffey. You'll see that things have changed. And the only way that we can actually estimate it is to compare like for like. But I don't think that everyday users should be expected to do that. And believe it or not, this situation's actually worse than in the case of EU Great Britain North, which I reviewed. And I had similar concerns about last time. One of the advantages of digging down into the scenery packages for EU Great Britain North, I was able to find a KML file. Now, the way I did that is, well, I use MSFS add-ons linker, which is a free product produced, and it was hosted on flightsim.to. Brilliant piece of software to help you manage your add-ons. As you can see, there's very little ticks left and right. I'm not expecting you to be able to see that, but I'm running extremely light. In fact, the only things that I've got on are Dublin City and Dublin Airport, and plus there's AccuSeason and real textures. But nonetheless, I mean, the point is I'm running quite light here because I was wanting to test out just how smooth the scenery was. But in the case of Great Britain North, I was able to open up the community file here. There it is. If I double click on that and double click on the Orbx region, you see something. It'll just open up here. Great Britain North KML. Why is that important? Well, if you're using an app such as little Navimap to plan your flights, to sketch out a flight plan, if you go to File, there's a little kind of a tab here, well, a little command here, add Google Earth KML. If you click on that, you can see I've already opened it, so I'm going to cancel it. I'm not going to open it again. But the KML, effectively, when you import it, it's saying the reason it's I haven't asked to load it, don't worry about that, but the point is that once you load the KML files, you can see here that I've got these little markers here, and the little markers are, and I think I may well have had to manually enter in exactly what they are. So this is not an ideal sort of way through, but you can get the little points of interest, and that can be a starter. And if you remember, I looked at Edinburgh example as part of GB North, and you can see here there's the airport, and these are some of the key markers in Great Britain North that I thought, oh yes, it'd be good to go and fly and look at those, although even then I had to do a little bit of work. So yes, I've had to do all of this manually. This is using Navimap. There's the path going down to the southwest that you saw on Microsoft Flight Simulator earlier, and I have this was actually for the H145 rather than the Microlate, because of course the H145 is fitted with a navigational system that can autopilot, which is how I'm able to make the comparisons. But as you can see here, just coming around, turning and just flowing, going down the Liffey. And what I've had to do is have to label every single bridge, just so I can see where I'm going and make a comparison. But what I'm saying is that consumers, as consumers, we shouldn't be expected to have to do this. I should mention that also, yes, there is a support button. I can find my way through to submit a request, and I can search around the Orbx community. But again, I don't think this is the point. You shouldn't have to have users sort of straggling around to find out, you know, as a community, have we managed to find all the POIs in a particular product that Orbx has produced. So what's my conclusion, folks? Well, I did genuinely want to do a review of the Dublin Landmarks pack, and I have looked at it, and I have done some comparatives on it, and it's clear that some of the features that Orbx have offered here are indeed, yes, they are excellent. A lot of time has gone into producing these static models, but also the moving models as well. However, I can't really review this product, Orbx, and the reason is because I don't know what you're selling me in for. There are some features I can comment on, but you simply can't tell me that you're featuring more than 60 points of interest with PBR textures and night lighting. Sure, I might be able to fly by and see them. Sure, I can do my own comparative video, but it just needs a small amount of effort just to provide us, the consumers, with a clear list about what these POIs are, where they're located. A KML file at the very least would be excellent, and then I can properly review, and I can properly fly around and fly past and fly close to and experience and see for myself the hard work that has been put in. And I think generally I just want to say of Orbx Central that this platform, or the development of the platform and the simple things that could be done here, are a clear loss for those of us who are buying the additional scenery packs, but they could be such a clear win for Orbx in maintaining and developing this platform as a place where people, you know, it's just so wonderfully done, the way that we're able to collect together, to see what we've bought, to view the products that we bought on a map. This is just huge, and it seems to me that a small amount of investment, I think, would make more and more people lean towards using Orbx Central as the place where primarily they get their scenery from. So it's an absolute win in my view from Orbx, and I really don't understand it. But also, if I was one of those members of staff who produced a model, I would be a little bit disappointed, because I would want people to be celebrating my work and that to be snapshot and shown everywhere. So yeah, I have to say that I was hoping to do a review, but I must be honest and say simply that I don't know what I am reviewing, apart from what jumps out of me in a comparative video. But the thing is, I will miss things in a comparative video. So folks, the comparative video is coming, but I thought, given the journey that I've been on, that it was just worth doing an update on Orbx Central, which could be so much more than it is already. And I notice if I go to the website, although it didn't appear actually on Orbx Central platform, that I've got 146 kind of golden and grey balls. I'm really not quite sure what that's about. I can collect orbs, and presumably there's some kind of redemption scheme, as you can see there. Yes, if you get 200 balls, you can get Leeds Bradford Airport. Well, I'll tell you what, Orbx, I'm not really too worried about the balls. You can have your balls. What I would absolutely love is if you could update the central platform just in those small ways. And if you even, for example, put another Australian dollar and produced a kind of premium access for Orbx, for the Orbx Direct app, where you included some of these extras, you have to kind of fund it and put more money towards it. I would pay $1 a month for that. I mean, there need to be a little bit more. There need to be kind of more forward links to other information or whatever. But I think with a little bit of work, you could really make this app kind of just be brilliant and helpful for all the simmers out there. But in the meantime, I'm sorry to say, it's just really disappointing. As I say, I don't really feel confident at the moment to give a full review of what you're producing, because I can't see what I'm buying. Well, okay, to all you other simmers out there, hope you're doing okay. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again sometime. Do put your comments in the comments section. If anything what I'm saying, if you think it's unjustified, think it's unfair, then do let me know. And also, if you do know any workarounds that I can't see, I mean, we shouldn't have to be hacking our way into software, but if you can see things that I can't see, I wondered if I could open up the scenery using the SDK pack to get the information out there. If you can see a way, a workaround that I can't see, then please put it in the comments section. But in the meantime, take care and stay safe.